Welcome to part 2 of making PHP application from scratch. In part 1, we have understood what the problem statement that we are going to solve, and we have also set up the project. We initialize our gate, we initialize our composer, and some basic stuff that should be done for each and every PHP application. After the first video, I have done some more changes. I have updated the readme.md file, which now clearly states what the problem statement that we are going to solve. And again, I'm recording these videos and will be uploading on YouTube. So I have also included the video URL. I have also committed that code to a repository on GitHub. It can be checked on KS Workshop / calculator. I have also created different branches. So all the latest code will be on master branch. But if you are on the second video and want to see the code that we have done till second video, you can go to chapter 2 branch and check that code. So that's all. Let's start with Symfony Console component. Now in this part of the video, we are going to install Symfony Console component, which is very useful while making any console based application. Let's go to Symfony website. Under Symfony website, under the documentations, there's a section called components, which include all the components given by Symfony. So we are interested in that console component. First, obviously, we need to install that. Let's copy that console component composer command and paste it. It will take some time. Let it install and I will be back. It is installed. We can go and check composer.json file. Now, under required section, we have Symfony Console. Now, for any console-based application, or not only any console-based application, for any application, we need some entry point. If you remember any web projects, under the public directory or web directory, we have a file index.php, which is basically the entry point. So we also need an entry point. Let's create it at the root. So new PHP file. Let's call it calculator.php. I don't want to add it to gate. Remove auto-generated section, and this is generally a simple console application code. So what exactly it is doing? It is first including autoload.php. You remember we have done autoloading in the composer.json, and for this to work, we need to include autoload.php. So if you go to any modern framework like Laravel, Symfony, and in the index.php file, they generally have this line. So we need to include it once. After that, we are going to use Symfony Console component, which is now in vendor package. We create an object of application and run it. In between, we have to register the command. But before we can register the command, we have to create one. So how can we create the command? So we need to go to another section of the document. This is how we create the command. Let's copy paste it. And now this time we might want to write it in the command. Our directory structure, PHP reboot is my default namespace, but after that might be project name, calculator, and within that calculator command. That's enough. I don't want to add it. Remove that auto-generated stuff. Or maybe I want to remove all the code and simply paste it. We obviously need to fix some things. First thing is the namespace. So our namespace is PHP reboot / calculator. Now obviously our command name is different. It's calculator command. Now this file contains two functions, configure and execute. So configure function is a function where we make the basic configurations about the command, and execute is the function which will be actually executed when we call that command. So configuration functions, this is the general things that we need to put there. So maybe we can remove the comments. So what exactly it is doing? Let me put semicolon now. We need to remove it later. What will be the name of our command? Let's give the name calculate for now. What this function is doing? So some description, runs the calculator. Any help you want to? So I don't want to set any help for now, so let's remove this. But there are few things. Whenever I will fire that command, I need to pass on few parameters. I need to pass on the operation name and the numbers. So we need some parameters. So for getting the parameters, we need to do that add argument. Name of the argument, it's let me copy it. I'm lazy in typing. So add argument, my first argument will be the operator, whether it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, and I don't want all this, so that is a mandatory parameter. So I'll say input argument colon colon required and some help. Enter the operator, and not only one, we actually need two arguments, so one more, 8 add argument. Second will be say numbers, these are also required. In input argument required, and we are done. In the execute method, we actually write the code that will be executed. For now, we'll simply output the things. So maybe don't need all of that. Output arrow add line. So a simple thing, operator equal to. Now I need to get the operator, so we can get it from input arrow get argument and the name of the argument, the operator, and similarly we can output write line numbers equal to dollar input get get argument numbers. So that's it for now. As the initial level, I just want to print out whatever the parameters I passed. But before we can execute it, we need to go and register the command and do application add new calculator command. I might not want that, so better I will use PHP reboot calculator command, and that's all. It should actually run our first command. So how can we run this command? We need to call this file calculator.php. So PHP calculator.php, and for now let's give two simple things. Calculate AB. So we also need to pass on the command name, this one. So it basically prints our output. But this is not enough. It is going to be a single command application. We might not want to have multiple commands. Symfony Console component also gives the facility to make a single command application. So building a single command application. If I go there, here we are basically doing all the code in this file that I might not want because we need to build on the architecture. So basically we calculator equal to new calculator command, and now I can pass it here $calculator. Now I need to set the default command. This actually do the trick. So I do application set default command calculator get name, and there's second parameter which we pass through So this basically says if I want to run it by default. So if we go into the definition, second parameter, set to true if there is only one command in this application, and then simply runs. So the benefit with this, I now need not to pass that calculate. The calculate command will be auto executed. It's a default command now. But I might want to do like a calculator A, B, or say dot slash calculator, but this command is not fine. So what I can do, let me do it from here. Now refactor, rename. So I remove the extension PHP, but still in that case it will not run. So we first need to give executable permission. So change mode plus X calculator. But still it can't be run because I do not know it's a PHP script that has to be run. So it can be done by adding this line at the top. So what exactly it do? It's a commented code basically, but it tells the operating system, the bash, that this is a PHP file. So now I can simply do dot slash calculator AB and it's running. So that's all. Our calculator application basic skeleton is ready. In the next video, we will be writing code here to make the proper architecture for our calculator application. Till then, goodbye.